Hello, and welcome to the webinar, Nursing Resources at the New Jersey State Library, which is being presented for the Doctor of Nursing Practice students at Thomas Edison State University. My name is Laura Scheiber. I'm a reference librarian here at the New Jersey State Library, and I'm here with my colleague Martha Sullivan. Martha is the library's Health Resources Librarian, and today we're going to talk to you about how to use the library website and about the different resources that are available to you through the State Library. So let's take a look at the agenda for today's webinar. First, I'll be talking to you a bit about the State Library, and I'll introduce you to the website. I'll show you the basics of using our online catalog, and I'll also show you where to find ebooks on the website. At that point, Martha will take over, and utilizing her librarian's expertise, will show you how to locate articles in nursing databases. She'll also discuss our new discovery service and demonstrate how to find journals on our website. Then I'll come back and I'll talk to you about registering for Illiad, which is our interlibrary loan service. I'll show you where on the website the tutorials and webinars live, and I'll point out some new research guides that the library has developed, and lastly, just show you where to go on the website to ask for help. So let's get started. As you can see on the current slide, the State Library has existed since 1796. We provide information and resources to state employees, to Thomas Edison State University staff, students, and mentors, and also to New Jersey residents. We have over 2 million items in 13 collections, and we provide access to over 200 online databases. We have thousands of online and print journals, and perhaps most importantly, we have a staff of knowledgeable and experienced librarians who are here to help you. Okay, with that, let's move on to the website, and we'll just go live. And there it is. Okay, so first I'll show you how to find a book in the library's catalog. And in case you didn't know, the New Jersey State Library website can be found at www.njstatelib.org. Okay, so there are a number of different ways to access the different sections that I'll be showing you today. But for right now, I'm just going to show you the method that I use and that I think is the most direct. So when you're at the library's homepage, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page. From there, you'll see a box titled Catalog, Searches, and Tools. And from there, you'll see a series of tabs. And you'll want to click on the second tab, which says NJSL Catalog. From here, you can see that there's an entry field right here, but also this pull-down menu. And you can see that there are a number of different ways that you can search. For instance, title keyword or author browse, subject keyword, or general keyword. For right now, though, we're going to search by subject keyword. And we'll go right up to that subject keyword. And the keyword that we're going to put in today is vaccination. We'll hit the search button and take a look at the results. So you can see that that particular subject keyword search pulled up 77 different results. If you look over to the right, let me get over there, you can see something that says sort by, and then there's a pull down menu. So that actually allows you to sort your results by a number of different methods. We're going to use today PubDate. So if you pull down to PubDate, you'll reorder your list of relevant titles by publication date with the newest titles at the top. So you can see that the newest title that we have for the subject keyword vaccination was published in 2015. And now we're going to take a closer look, at a catalog record. So let's get down to one that we like. And we're going to take a look at Deadly Choices, How the Anti-Vaccine Movement Threatens Us All. Once we're in the record, we can see that there are a number of different hyperlinks here underneath the title and also off to the left-hand side. These are useful because they allow you to click on them For instance, if we clicked on the author name, we can find out what other books the author might have written that we have in our collection, and we can see that there are 8 titles in our collection by that same author. If we go back to the catalog record and say click under subjects for vaccination of children, we can see that at least 16 titles in our collection match that particular subject keyword, vaccination of children. So sometimes it can be a nice way just to get a good idea of the types of books that the library has in its collection for particular subjects. And it does allow you to begin to be very specific as well. You can also request a title from the catalog record. So once we're in the catalog record like we are right now, and you'd like the book that you're looking at held for you, you can see a button over here on the right-hand side that says Request Item. Once you click it, the system will prompt you to put in your library barcode number. That's the whole number with no spaces from the back of your library card. And then click Login. And then you'll see this request confirmation screen. All you have to do is click Request, and then that book will be pulled off the shelf for you and held behind the circulation desk. Yes, that is true. Let's go back to the catalog. Okay, so you can actually log into the system in order to check your library card account. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. If we click Login. Okay, so we're taking a look at this. The first screen that you see is the account overview. It gives you a good idea of what you have checked out, what's overdue, or if you have any outstanding hold requests. You're also able to renew books in your library card account. So if we go up to this link that says checked out and we click it, you'll see a list of every title that you have checked out from the library. Next to each title, you'll see a little checkbox. All you'll need to do is click on that box and then hit the renew button, and your due date will be extended for you. I should mention that you can't renew a book from this screen that's overdue. Unfortunately, you'll have to contact the circulation desk here at the library in order to do that. And so that's just a little bit of information about your library card account. We can go back to search our catalog. And actually, let me go back to the main page because I'm going to talk a little bit about finding journals through the catalog. For that, we'll go back to the main page of the library's website. And we're still on the New Jersey State Library Catalog tab here under Catalog Searches and Tools. So just like before, we're going to use the pull-down menu, but instead of subject keyword, we're actually going to take a look at serial title browse. That will restrict our search to available periodicals here at the library. And we'll search for Journal of Healthcare Management. We hit the search button, and then we can see a list of results based on what we input, and you can see that they've all been restricted to periodicals, and Journal of Healthcare Management are the top 2 results in this list. It's actually an alphabetical list. So once we click on that, we can also get an idea of the type of coverage that the library has for that part of the particular journal. And I also wanted to show you, before I turn this over to Martha, where you can find ebooks on the library website. So there are a couple of ways to do it, but what I'm going to do is go down to, go up to this Research Library button, and then use the pull-down menu to go to Electronic Resources. From there, you can go to eBooks and Audiobooks. And it'll bring you to this page. So the books that we're interested in are the ebooks on EBSCOhost. All you have to do is click this link. And it's possible that if you're looking at this site from your house, you'll be prompted to put your library barcode number in, just to give you a heads up. And you can take a look, you can browse by category, and we do have health and medicine books, so it's possible that you may find something that you're looking for, something that'll bolster your research. I believe that there are also management books in here as well, business and management. So that might be worthwhile just to take a look through. And again, you'll find that from the library's main page, we can get back there through the NJ State Lib logo, Research Library, Electronic Resources, and eBooks and audiobooks. And with that, I'm going to let Martha Sullivan, who is, as I mentioned, our Health Resources Librarian here at the New Jersey State Library, take over. Martha will be talking about locating articles in our databases, our new discovery service, and also finding journals on our website. So here's Martha.
Okay, thank you. So hi everyone, I'm Martha Sullivan and I specialize in health information here at the State Library. I'm going to show you how to conduct online research and search for and find articles in a few of our nursing databases. One database we'll look at is called CINAHL Complete. CINAHL stands for the Cumulative Index to Nursing and Allied Health Literature, and it's considered the premier nursing literature database. Another one we're going to look at is called Ovid Nursing Full Text Plus, which contains full text for some key nursing journals. And we'll also take a quick look at a database called ProQuest Central. I should mention, though, that not every article you find in our databases will have the full text. Many do, but some don't, and we'll see in more detail later how to use Illiad, which is our online article request system. So there are a couple of ways to find the databases. You can use the Research Library drop-down menu, or you can scroll down to this Catalog, Searches, and Tools area and click on the link that says Database List. And this brings you to the databases page where you can view the databases listed alphabetically or grouped together by subject. And we're going to take a look at the health databases. But please note that there are many other subject categories. So for example, if your research question is related to health law, then in addition to the health databases, you might want to check through the list of law databases. Here you can find databases with content from law periodicals, some with full text. These include Hein Online and Legal Track. I'm going to select the health databases. There we go. And we have databases on many different aspects of healthcare. Also listed here are links to websites and web portals. Many have free government databases with high-quality information on health and medical topics. You'll see a notation underneath the description of each of the databases about remote access. They all have on-site access, but the remote access notation is what you're going to be interested in if you use this from off-site. If it says remote access yes, such as this one, that means that's a free resource that's available to everyone. Everyone has access to that. If you see authorized users, then that means that Thomas Edison State University staff and students, as well as New Jersey State employees, have remote access to that database. Okay, so I do want to point out a couple of resources before we get into the databases themselves. We have a subscription to Medline Complete, and this is a very important database for the field of medicine. It's produced by the National Library of Medicine. It covers many areas of healthcare. It covers the professional medical literature, and it's the largest biomedical database in the world. It covers everything from preclinical science to medicine, life sciences, chemical sciences. It covers dentistry and veterinary medicine, and it has a nursing subset as well. On the next page, another database I want to point out is called PsycInfo. Now this is the premier database for the literature of psychology, so if your research has a focus on mental health, psychology, or psychiatric topics, then this is an excellent resource to use. We also have a link to PubMed, and PubMed is actually the free version of Medline. So all of the content, all of the citations that you find in Medline, you would find in PubMed. So this is also produced by the National Library of Medicine, and you'll see that remote access says yes, it's available for everyone. I do want to recommend, though, that if you like to use PubMed for searching, if you use PubMed while you're a Thomas Edison University student, it would definitely benefit you to use the link on our website because we do have a special URL. So when you go in through our website and you do a search, you will be able to see through an icon that we have if the full text is available in one of our other databases. So let me just show you really quickly what that looks like. Just do a quick search about measles. Let's say we're interested in this article number 5, and I open that. You can see that up on the right, there's that icon I was mentioning, New Jersey State Library Online. So we could click that and get the article right away. Okay, so I will go back to the first page and we will get into CINAHL. And at this point you would enter your library barcode number if you were outside of the library building. Okay, so once you go into CINAHL, you'll probably be on the basic search screen. You'll see a blue horizontal menu running along the top. There's a search box and then ways to limit the search shown below. I usually recommend using the advanced search feature because in here you can take advantage of the additional search features and limits. For example, instead of one search box, we now see there are 3 search boxes. This can be very helpful to kind of help you separate your search concepts. And if you have more, you can add a row if you need to. You can also search in a particular field. So if you want to find your keywords in the title, which would make the results more specific, or if you're looking for a particular author, you can do that from here. Another thing in the advanced search is there are many more limits from which to choose. And CINAHL is a very specialized database, so there are a lot more limits here than you would find in most databases. And I just want to point out a couple that might be of interest. There is a checkbox for full text, so this can be very useful if you have an immediate need for the full text of the article. I would caution, though, that if you use the full text limit, you may be limiting out some very relevant results for your search. And we do have the Illiad system to request the full text of articles, so it's just something to be aware of. There's also a publication date range limit. If you're doing health research, you may want the most recent publications. There is a checkbox for finding peer-reviewed articles. There's a checkbox for evidence-based practice articles. There's also a limit for clinical queries. This also finds evidence-based practice articles on specific clinical areas like therapy or prognosis. You can find review articles in here, qualitative studies, and studies about causation. There is a journal subset, so if you're looking for a particular subject area. There are also many different publication types. You'll find practice guidelines, continuing education units, questionnaires. There's also a publication type for systematic reviews, which we sometimes get questions about. And there's various patient characteristics as well, so inpatients or outpatients, age groups, and gender. And you don't have to select any limits. You can add limits in after you run your search as well. The one thing that is pre-selected here is this search mode. And you can see that by default, the Boolean phrase search mode is selected. What that means is you can use Boolean operators to do your search, and Boolean operators are just the words and, or not. And these can be very helpful in constructing a search because it allows you to kind of control how the search is run. It gives you flexibility on how the search is run. So it's very beneficial. Also, this searches for phrases, so you can put in a phrase such as if you typed in electronic medical records or common cold, and the system would try to find those terms next to each other or very close together. Okay, so my research question for this example is going to be about preventing and reducing hospital infections. So I'm going to put in my search terms. I'll start with hospital infections, and I want to find articles that mention prevention or reduction. Now, when you are ORing together, when you're using the Boolean operator OR like I've done here, and you're ORing together terms, it's best to put them in one box on one line. That ensures that those terms are searched for as a unit. It's kind of like putting parentheses around those terms. Something else you can do to make sure you get all the articles that you want to find is to look for various forms of a word. So in this database, actually in many databases, you can use what's called truncation. So the truncation symbol is often an asterisk. So if you put the asterisk at the end of a root word, then all forms of this word will be looked for. So this will now find prevention, preventative, preventing, reduction, reducing. So all those terms will be searched for. So I'm going to click on search. And now we have our over 3,400 results. The system provides it provides the list of results in order of relevance. It does an algorithm, a relevance algorithm. You can change that if you wanted the most recent publications shown first. You can use this drop-down box and select Date Newest. As you go through your results, you can use this icon. It looks like a magnifying glass. If you want more information about the article, that will pop open an abstract if one's available. If you want to have the abstract showing on the screen as you're going through, being able to read all the abstracts, up on the top right there's a link that says Preferences. You can select that and then come here under Format and select Detailed, and then that will ensure that all the abstracts are shown on the front page of the screen. If the full text is available for an article, you'll see a link somewhere below the citation. Typically it will say PDF full text. Sometimes it might say HTML full text or linked full text. So you just want to look for a full text link. So I'm going to click on that. And that opens up that article for us. And from here we can print or save or download the article. If you want to print it, I would say print it from the PDF menu. On the far right there's a narrow column, and one of the choices is to email the article. And if you put your email address in here, it will send you that article as a PDF attachment. Another choice over on the right here is a little icon that says Cite, and if you click on that, it opens up different citation formats for this article. So if you are using this article in your bibliography, for example, and you want APA format, you can open this up, get this citation format, and copy it and paste it into your bibliography. Okay, I'm going to go back to the result list. So over on the left is a column that says Refine Results. And I mentioned earlier that you can add limits after you run your search as well. And there's a link that says Show More. So if we click on that, that opens up the full screen of all the limits that we have a choice of, and you can add any of them in from here. In addition, it has sort of the most common, or I guess the most popular limits displayed right up front. So from here you can select full text. We can adjust the publication date range from here. Let's say we want the most recent, about 5 years of articles. And there's also a menu that you can open if you want to select by certain criteria, maybe language or age groups. Maybe geography would be a limit we'd want to choose. And now we've limited those results further. All right, so there is another way to search in CINAHL, and that's using CINAHL subject headings. So CINAHL headings are subject terms assigned to the articles that describe the content of the article. And they're sometimes paired with subheadings, and if you know how to use them to search, you can do a much more targeted search. And so instead of finding articles that may just be mentioning your search terms kind of in passing, these will be the main focus of the articles. So I'm going to show an example. We'll clear this search and go back to our search page. And we'll search for hospital infections using CINAHL headings. So up at the top is a link that says CINAHL headings. And this brings you to a page where you can browse to find these specific subject headings. So I'm looking for hospital infections. I'll click on Browse. And this lets us know that for hospital infections, we want to use the term cross-infection. So I'll click on that. Now this brings you to a page, it's called the tree view for cross-infection. What this is a hierarchy of subject terms that are going from broadest to narrowest. So every term is indented. Each narrower term is indented further. And you can see that this term is in a couple of different kind of branches of this tree. So here's cross-infection, and you can see that there are a few terms that are narrower than cross-infection. So if we want to select that, we just check the box to the left, and that opens up this blue column with a choice of different subheadings. And you can select one or more subheadings. You can use all the subheadings. If you don't select anything, by default it will search for all the subheadings. If we scroll down to the bottom of this, this shows what this term is used for. So cross-infection is used for hospital infections. It's used for nosocomial infections. So it kind of captures all of these synonyms that now we don't have to worry about trying to figure out what other terms we should put in our search. So it kind of does that for you. So I'm interested in prevention and reduction of cross-infection. So I'm going to use this subheading, prevention and control. And if you're ever wondering about what a subheading means, there is a scope note that you can open and take a look and get an explanation. So now over on the right, there's another column where you have a couple of more choices. There's a checkbox for major concept. So if we check that as you would expect, then your term will then be the main focus of the articles. It'll be the major concept of those articles. The other choice is to explode the term. And what that means is if you choose explode, then not only will the database look for your term, but it will look for every narrower term that's indented beneath yours as well. So if you want to do that, you would select explode. And I think I'm going to do that. So we've made our selections, and I'm going to click on Search Database. And we can see that this has given us a lot of results. It's captured a lot more results than we did just using the terms that we did with keywords, because it's looking for all those other nosocomial infections. It's looking for all those other terms, plus it's looking for all those exploded terms as well, the catheter infections and the central line infections. And from here we can narrow down the search by publication date again if we want to. We can go down and maybe select the USA geography. And from here you can add in additional terms if you want to narrow this down further. Maybe you want to add in a term for hand washing or protocols or central line infection. Whatever you're looking for, you can narrow this down with additional terms. Okay, so that was a quick introduction to CINAHL. Another database that is strong on nursing is called Ovid Nursing Full Text Plus. So we'll go and take a look at that next. And this database is going to look a little bit different. The interface is different. However, there's always certain characteristics of databases that are similar. So we'll go into there. And again, there's a search box. There's ways to limit the search shown below. Now in Ovid, if you want to see what all of your limit choices are, you would need to click on this button that says Edit Limits. And that brings up the page of all the limits you have a choice of. Let's say you want to be able to search by publication types. You would have to select that. Let's say you would also want to search by clinical queries. You would select that box and then click on Customize Limits at the bottom. And now that's brought those limits to the front page. So we're on the basic search screen, and in Ovid the basic search is a little bit different than what we just saw in CINAHL. In Ovid, the basic search is like a natural language search. So you can type in a sentence, you can type in a question, you can type in just a series of keywords, and you don't have to worry about Boolean operators or phrases. So it's kind of straightforward in that way. So I'm going to type in hospital infections prevention. And you do want to make sure that this box that says include related terms is checked, which it should be by default. I'll also do a publication date range and click on search. And the results come up below. And you can see that our search terms are highlighted, which is nice. Also, you can see on the left here, the database shows you what was searched. So we entered a few terms, but you can see that it actually expanded the search quite a bit. It looked for all of these synonyms for prevention. It also looked for nosocomial infections. It looked for hospital infections, institutional infections. So it's really good in that way of expanding your search based on just a few terms. What's also nice here is it's very easy to change the display. You can just click on title and just go through the list of titles. You can click on abstract and then read through all of the abstracts of the articles that you found. If the full text is available, like in the other database, you'll see a link that says full text somewhere in the citation. So you'll see over here there's a link for full text. Sometimes it might say PDF full text. Sometimes it might say Ovid full text. So you just want to look for that full text link. Over on the left are ways to limit the search in a similar fashion as CINAHL. There's a sort by box, so this also ranks the results by relevance. It's called score in Ovid. You can change this to publication date if you want to. You can also open up these menus and select certain years, a specific date range, maybe a certain publication type, and limit right from here. Okay, one other way to search in Ovid that I do want to mention is the multi-field search. And this is going to look very similar to what we just saw in CINAHL. There are 3 search boxes. You can add a new search row if you need to. You can use Boolean operators, and you can search in particular fields. So let's say we want to look for our hospital infection search, and we want to find prevention or reduction. Just as in the other database, you can use an asterisk to look for all forms of the word. We can do a publication date range to current and click on search. And now we can see what results we've gotten. And over on the left, it shows you what search was done. And in this case, the search is done exactly as you've instructed it, because it's not the basic search, it's the multi-field search where you're actually telling it exactly what to look for. Okay, so that is a very quick introduction to Ovid. One final database that I do want to show you is called ProQuest Central. And I will go over to that page and scroll down. Okay, so you can see that from our website, the link we have provides remote access for New Jersey State employees only. However, Thomas Edison State University students do have access to this database through the university. So students can check their My Thomas Edison portal to locate this. But I do want to show you what this looks like. Again, this database will have a slightly different interface, but many similar search features. So ProQuest Central is actually an aggregation of many different databases. And the one I wanted to point out is called the Health Management Database. And you can see on the left the subject coverage of this database. It includes health administration and law and management, personnel, ethics, public health, things like that. So again, I am going to go to the advanced search. And again, we have search boxes. We can add a row. There's ways to limit the search. I'll just quickly do our hospital infection search, and we'll see how this looks in this database. It's nice that different databases sort of have similar features, so once you learn one, you get pretty comfortable searching in the others as well. I'll do a publication date range, if it lets me do that, after, let's say after 2011, and click, you know what, I'll add another term here. Let's look for outcomes. Okay. Search. And again, you can narrow this down further on the left by different types of journals, peer-reviewed or scholarly or source types. ProQuest has a lot of content. In addition to scholarly journals, there's a lot of trade journals in here. There are reports. You can look at the more options category and look for dissertations or magazines. So there's a lot in here, and there's almost all full text. Okay, so we just saw how to use the databases to find articles on a certain topic. But let's say you're looking for a particular journal or a particular article. So next I want to show you how to locate that. So let's say you're interested in the Journal of Healthcare Management. You could look in the library catalog like Laura showed you and see if we have it in print. You can also look and see if we have it online. So under Research Library and Electronic Resources, there's a link for e-journals. So let's say again we're specifically looking for the Journal of Healthcare Management. And this lets us know that it's in here, and we just open up this box to see what full text is available. And this shows us that this journal is actually available in quite a few databases, and fortunately it's up to the present date. Sometimes you might see that the full text is only available up to a certain year. Maybe it's up to only a year ago or 6 months ago. Some journals have an embargo and they don't allow the most recent articles to be available in the databases. So that's when you would have to, if you needed one of the newer articles, you'd have to make a request through us. So from here you could click on any of the database titles. I'll select CINAHL. And this opens up the publication details for that journal. And over on the right are all the different years that are available. So you can open up each year, and there are all the different issues from that year. And clicking on a certain issue kind of lets you look through the table of contents of that journal. And from here you can get those articles. Okay. Oops. So another thing you might be interested in finding is a specific article. You may already know the article that you're looking for. If you scroll down to the section under Catalog Searches and Tools, there's a tab that says Start Your Research. Something that we've implemented in the last year is called a Discovery Service, and this Start Your Research tab is sort of your way into the Discovery Service. You're searching the Discovery Service when you use this tab. And what that does is it searches through almost all of our online content simultaneously. It searches through most of our databases. It's looking through the library catalog. It searches through the online repository. It's looking through New Jersey documents and U.S. documents, the book collection, and even some open source resources that are available online. So it's an extremely broad search. But one thing that it's really excellent for is finding specific articles if you have the title of an article. So let's say I want to find an article about process improvement cost model for the emergency department. You would just type in the title of your article and click on search. And it comes right up if it's available in one of the databases. So that's always a happy moment when you can find the article you're looking for. As I've mentioned, sometimes you may be looking for an article that is not available in the database. Let's say we were interested in this article about troponin turnaround time. You can see that there is no link for the full text here. There is a link that says Illiad ILL, however, and what that means is you can use Illiad to request an interlibrary loan. And you can use this link to make that request right away. So I will just show that as an example, clicking on that, and then if I've already registered for Illiad, I can enter my library card number, and this brings us to the article request page within Illiad. And one great thing about going through the Discovery service to do this is it pre-populates the fields in Illiad for you. So you don't have to copy and paste all these things like the article title and the journal name and things like that. And at the bottom there's a button that says Submit Request. So once you click on that, this request goes to our Interlibrary Loan Department. They work together with the reference department to get the article for you as soon as possible. So at this point, I am going to turn this back to Laura to talk a little bit more about registering for Illiad and also to just sum up a few more resources on our website that you might find helpful.
Hello, I'm back again, and I'm going to briefly talk to you about the different ways that you can reach out for help through the website. First, we're going to talk about registering for Illiad. Illiad is excellent, as Martha pointed out, for requesting articles that you require but that the library isn't able to provide access to. So first you'll head back to the main page of the library website, and that's where we are. You'll see a series of 4 big green buttons off to the right, and the first one says Request a Book or Article, and that's definitely the one that we want to click. From there, you'll see instructions for Thomas Edison State University staff, students, and mentors. There's a link here to Illiad in the very first line of this paragraph. You'll see it right there. Click on that, and it'll open up this new page. So this has a link for instructions for first-time users. We don't have time really to go over them, but prior to registering for Illiad, you're definitely going to want to take a look at it. So we're going to go straight to the Illiad request submission form, and the thing we're going to take a look at right now is this red link that says first-time users, and we can click on that. There's some basic information that you have to scroll down to. You'll hit the button at the bottom that says first-time users, click here. You'll be prompted to put in your library barcode, again the whole thing with no spaces. And I'll put mine in here. Click Login, and you'll see the screen. It's the new user registration for Illiad screen. Some fields are required, and you'll see that they are marked with the red asterisk. So you want to fill out all of that information, first name, last name, email address, etc. Choose your password and then click Submit Information at the bottom. So once you submit that information, New Jersey State Library staff will begin to process your registration. They'll get you cleared, and you should be able to be ready to make Illiad requests. So now, actually, let me log into Illiad and show you what the submission form or the request submission form looks like. So I believe that Martha showed you it when she showed you how to request an article through one of the databases via the Illiad button. And so all of those fields were pre-filled out for you. But if we go to this bottom Submit Requests via Illiad, you'll see that it prompts you to put in your library card number. And I'll do that. So this is what that screen looks like when you've not made any requests and you've just come in. All you'll do is take a look at this new request menu, and if it's an article, hit Article. We'll take a look at that, and then you're going to want to fill out all of that information. Again, the red asterisk indicates required field, so you will need to fill that field out. But I will say that as much information as you're able to give us is really, really useful. For instance, if you have the volume of the journal or the issue number or the year of the journal that the article appears in, actually, that's required anyhow. But as much information is good because it helps us to find it, and then that helps us to send it to you more quickly. So you'll fill out all of that information by hand and then just submit request. And I can show you what the submit request slide looks like. Once you've actually successfully submitted your request, you'll see the screen that looks like this. And it'll have outstanding requests. They'll have the name of the journal article that you're looking for, and also it'll tell you what the status is. So it'll tell you at what point in the process the article is at. So that's pretty good to know. So now we'll head back to the library's homepage, and we'll get out of Illiad. We'll go back here. So we can take a look at the Ask a Librarian form, and we're going to go back to those 4 big green buttons. Instead of the top one, we're going to click the third one there, Ask a Librarian. So New Jersey State Reference Librarians are available from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you email or call us outside of that time period, you can rest assured that your question or concern will be answered the very next business day. And you can always contact us via email by clicking this link. So underneath by email, you'll see the last link is Ask a Question on Any Other Subject, and that gets sent to us at the reference desk. When you click on that, it opens up this new page that has a number of entry fields that you need to fill out. So again, everything with a red asterisk is required. And there's a space for your question in this last big box. Submit your question, and then that goes directly to the reference desk's inbox. We'll answer it as quickly as we are able to. You can also call us on the phone. Our phone number is here under all other questions, 609-278-2640, extension 103. Again, we're here from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., so give us a call if you need any help. And you're always welcome to visit the State Library if you're in the area, and ask your questions at the reference desk on the 4th floor. Sometimes I think more complicated questions are better handled in person, and you're certainly more than welcome up here. Next, I wanted to point out the variety of tutorials and webinars that we have available on the website. So you can actually access it from the Ask a Librarian page right here, which is pretty interesting. But if you go back to the main page and hover over the Research Library tab at the top, you'll see it's the first one there. You can scroll down to Learning at NJSL and then just move over to Tutorials and Webinars. So this is the tutorials and webinars that we have hosted on our website. There's a lot of basic information that might be really useful, getting a library card online, both renewing and requesting a book in the catalog, registering for Illiad, and using Illiad to request an article or a book. If you're having any problem with any part of the Illiad process, I would definitely give those videos a look because they really do break that down for you step by step. Martha Sullivan has made a number of CINAHL tutorials that you can see here, and so she's broken that down into sort of very focused parts. We also have a number of our archived webinars, webinars that we've held previously will be housed here, and you can take a look at them at your leisure. There's one on psych articles, on locating nursing literature in CINAHL Complete, using psychology databases, and so there's a lot of really good information there. And lastly, I'd like to point out our research guides. So if we go back to the main page of the library, we use that same tab and then pull down to Research Guides. a new section is going to open up for us. And these are research guides. They've all been compiled by New Jersey State Library reference librarians. And so the information that's contained with them is going to be really reliable. And the one that we're going to take a look at is Martha Sullivan's Health and Medical Resources. So you can see that there are a number of different tabs available to open up on different topics, databases, and journals and articles, books and print. So there's a lot of really useful information housed here, so it's definitely worth taking a good look at. The other, let's see if we can get to it, the other guide that I'd wanted to point out is the Information Literacy for Thomas Edison State University students. It's probable that you won't need any of this information, but if it's been a little while since you've done a lot of research or have been in school, it may be useful to sort of brush up on some of those basics. Scholarly versus popular journals, starting your research, finding articles, citing your sources, and all of the Illiad video tutorials are included in this guide as well. So, you know, if it's been a little while and you feel a little rusty, it may be useful to sort of brush up on things through the Information Literacy LibGuide as well. Okay, we'll click out of that. And actually, oops, I believe that this wraps up our webinar. I wanted to thank you so much for spending time with us. And both Martha and I really wish you much success in your academic journey. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or if there's any way that we can help you. We're definitely here to answer those questions, and we'll help you as much as we're able to. So again, thanks for spending time with us.